Okay, everyone, we're going to introduce a pretty important concept today. It's called edge support edges or support loops, and they are kind of closely related to the vertex normals. And I'll give you a little brief on what vertex normals are in case you don't know. They're controlled generally by smoothing groups in Max, but we've got a modifier where you can actually see what they are. It's called edit normals. Okay, so I'm going to drop one on a cube. And you can see what's going on here. Each of these blue lines is actually the normal of a vertex. So you can see each of these flat surfaces, right, actually have 4 vertices to their name, even though it looks like there's only one there. As far as the card is concerned, there's 4 generally. So the reason this shades as if it's a cube is because all 4 of its vertices are all facing parallel. So it looks like a flat surface, right? That's what defines a flat surface in 3D. The vertex normals decide absolutely everything about how it shades, and I'm going to demonstrate what happens when you mess that up. But first we'll have a look at a cylinder. So I've already got the modifier on this guy, but you can see the same thing sort of happening here. We've got on this curved edge, we've got vertex normals pointing outwards, parallel. So that's shading as if it's flat from that sort of in one axis, and it's curved in another. Same deal with this top guy. All the vertices that he shares are all parallel, so it looks like a flat surface. So you can see on this curved surface, we don't have these split up into each face, right? These 2 faces next to each other, they actually support. They share the same vertex normal. Okay. And that's what causes things to shade smoothly. That's why it looks like even though it's angular, it looks quite smooth. Okay, so I'm going to do something real quick. I'm just going to set this box to all one smoothing group. If anyone's done this before, they'll know it doesn't look good. It looks really weird and shades strangely. The reason for that is the vertex normals actually, they average, is what they call it. It's average normals. Okay, so these are all just one vertex now. And they don't have parallel vertex definitions that define this as a flat face. It's trying to average the lighting across this whole face, across to this one and the one behind it, and everything that shares a vertex normal will sort of average its shading across there. So it looks really janky and not like an actual box. Similar thing will go on with this one. If we set this to all one smooth group, okay, the shading just looks whack, and you can see the normals are shared now, they're averaged. Okay, now another thing I'm going to do real quick is this is sort of tied to how subdivision works. So if I put a turbo smooth modifier on this, it's going to collapse into nothing. Okay, when you put a turbo smooth modifier on something, it's going to treat it as if all the vertices are averaged, and it'll try and sort of smooth across them all, right? So that's why things with sharp edges collapse in on themselves when you turbo smooth them in Max. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how we sort of fix that or counteract it. We add in extra edges and thus extra vertices to sort of control how things shade and how the normals actually work. So if I was to, I'm going to add some support loops to this guy. So I'm going to go ring select on this and then connect, okay, with the dialog. I've got it set on 2 already, but usually it starts on 1. So I'll set it to 2, and the pinch here can control how far apart each of the connections are. So I'm going to get those out to about there, okay. And then I'm going to do the same deal here on this, this ring. The setting's still okay from before, so I'm just going to repeat the same action again. Alright, so we've got some extra loops cut in, and now it's shading kind of properly, right? And if we turn on the turbo smooth, it's still retaining its edges, and it's because if we look at the edit normals, we still have these parallel lines shared by the same face here. So it's still defining itself as like a flat surface, and then on these edges you've got the averaged vertex normal. So it's smoothing across there, even though it's keeping just this inner sort of region quite flat and parallel in terms of its normals. Okay, so that's how you control smoothing, and that's how you can give some smooth beveling to a sharp edged object. So you can see it's even sharp there, and we're just using these vertex normals to control how the actual lighting behaves. We'll do the same with this guy. We'll fix it up, hold yes, ring select on that, and we'll just add in a connect. You might need to play with settings, however. We're going to go OK. So that's given us a nice edge there, but we need to fix this guy up. So I'm going to go select on the poly there, and then we're going to use inset. If you haven't used inset, this is what it does. It sort of drags in the polygon and bridges the gap between the dragged in position and its original one. Okay, so I'm going to set it to maybe there. And right now it's on a different smoothing group, so we've got the sharp edge. I'm just going to set that all to 1 again. And you can see that it's shading like it's got sort of a smooth lip on it. And then if we turn on the turbo smooth, it's still retaining its shape properly. Whereas if as we had it before, it was just collapsing into a mess. That's what support loops do. I hope that's intuitive. If you need to know anything more about it, just ask your tutor or just me on the channel, whatever. It's all good. I can always use ideas for how to clarify things better. But I hope that gives you some ideas. Go have a play with it and see what you come up with later.